far too early to say. And secondly, we were 8 tenths behind in qualifying in the last race, so we haven't added 8 tenths of performance to the car in 4 days. So no, I think it will still be very tough to beat the Mercedes this weekend. You also have to assume that the others are going to be picking up pace, like McLaren picking up pace, and the second Red Bull being in the fight as well. So I think we'll just focus on doing the best job we can and extracting the most from the car.
In Australia, George told to the media that he would have travelled with you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you speak with him about their engine? What do you think their advantage is?
Difficult to say. I mean, I don't have all the information, so I don't really know too much. But of course, I asked him about the engine, and I assume maybe they could be more efficient. Maybe they are able to charge more, or maybe they have more crank power. And so we've just got to, rather than worry about what others have, we just have to work harder to try and extract more from the package we have. But I'm really proud of Ferrari and the guys back at the factory who have done such a great job to build the car and the engine that we have, which has been reliable, and we'll continue to develop.
Charles, always positive to start the year with a trophy. I know when we were speaking in Australia, you were talking up Mercedes' advantage throughout the weekend, but do you think Ferrari have the potential to really take the fight to Mercedes as the season goes on, from what you saw in Australia and what's in the pipeline?
I really hope so. In qualifying, it's going to take a lot of work in order to change the advantage that they have. I mean, 8 tenths in Melbourne was absolutely huge. I don't expect it to be much closer here. Closer for sure. There are things that we are optimizing that we haven't optimized in Melbourne, etc. So it will get better, but they still have a significant advantage. In the race, we are closer, so I hope that starting from this weekend, we can put them under a bit more pressure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and talking about here and maybe the specifics of this track with some slow speed corners, might they help? And also, because it's a sprint weekend, understanding your package, and it feels like you guys have a good understanding of your package. Does that enable you to hit the ground running here, and how key is that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely we have a bit of we've done a massive amount of work in the background, let's say, to be ready for a weekend like this, because it was already a massive amount of work for a normal weekend, so to be ready with those cars that are so complex that on a sprint weekend is probably double the work, because you've got very few laps before needing to be optimum for qualifying. So it's going to be a huge challenge for everybody, and I think in the past or last year, one free practice session wasn't such a problem. I mean, you could be suboptimal because of setup by 1 or 2 tenths. Here, being suboptimal with the engine could mean 5, 6, 7 tenths, which is so it's going to be very important to do a good job during FP1 and to be ready in sprint quali in order to have the best result.
And do you already have a good idea also with the experience from last week how you're gonna manage the battery on that long straight here?
Yeah, we have an idea, but then there are obviously always scenarios in which you are not completely ready, which is the fight with the others, what your opponent is going to do, when he's going to use the boost button, where, and these are scenarios that moves constantly, because as a competitor we will want to surprise our competitors, and so you are not necessarily ready for these kind of scenarios.
And will we see the Macarena rear wing this weekend?
For now, I don't know.
This is the Chinese year of the horse. Do you think that it could be also the year of the horse, of the Cavallino in Formula One?
Well, I really hope so. I mean, it's obviously, for me, I've been many years with the team, and I'm waiting for the year of the horse since the first year I joined the team. So I hope that this year is our one, but surely we are against very tough competition. I think Mercedes is quite a bit ahead at the moment, but little by little I think we can catch them.
How much do you have to caution against anybody either within the team or around it, saying, okay, 1-2 in quali, 1-2 in the race, it's our championship now? Especially as, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Ferrari have got the Macarena wing on this weekend, which is going
I
to mean
haven't seen it.
they're going to dump a load of drag on that long straight.
There we go.
Might make things interesting.
Yeah. No, it's 2 years ago in Las Vegas, we finished 1-2 and should have qualified 1-2. And if that was the first race of the season, we'd think we're going to go on and win the championship that year. And that obviously wasn't the case. Now, I do think we've got the quickest car at the moment, and I think the power unit's really good. But we've got to keep on improving because I know the developments that are coming from teams up and down the grid. There's, I hear McLaren are quite overweight and they've got some weight saving to come. Red Bull, obviously, they qualified P3, but Max wasn't in the fight. Charles gave me a proper fight in Melbourne, and he was ahead of me before the VSC. And if he pitted under the VSC, I don't think we'd have finished 1-2. Maybe I could have got past him for the win. It would have been a proper tussle. So I think we just really nailed qualifying, and that was just a bit of a shock to everyone.
A roller coaster of a weekend for you in Australia, but plenty to be proud of with that recovery. What did it mean to get the 1-2 at the end of that weekend, and just the feeling inside of the team at the moment with the car that you've got?
Yeah, it was the best way to start the season, to be fair. Of course, it was a bit of a up and down weekend, but was extremely well recovered after FP3. Of course, the team did an incredible job, and I think they saved the weekend. They definitely saved the weekend by putting the car back together. And despite not being able to set it up or anything, the car was still very quick, and and I was able to drive it without an issue. And it gave me a lot of confidence as well during the race. And it was the best way to start the season. Of course, we need to keep our head down because Ferrari in the race was much closer than where they were in qualifying. So just need to keep our head down and keep pushing because obviously we have a really good car underneath us, and there's a really good atmosphere in the team. But we also know that the situation can change very quickly.
Thanks, Kimi.
Ciao. Looking back on Sunday in particular, what thing would you say you learnt from the race that you really want to get right this weekend?
Oh, the start.
The battery pack.
Yeah, the start. I mean, we obviously looked at it, and we saw where the issue was. I think everyone kind of suffered the same issue. Obviously, people they suffer with a bigger magnitude. My case obviously was very stressing because exiting the last corner with no battery, didn't do any burnouts. At some point, I thought the car was broken because it was not responding to any inputs. And then the start was what it was. But still, luckily we were quick and we managed to come back. But definitely the start is the biggest point where we need to work and improve because other teams such as Ferrari and Red Bull, they're getting off the line very well. To be fair, also some other teams with our engine, they got off the line very well. So we need to work on it and improve because in Melbourne we had the pace advantage, but there might be races where we don't have that much pace advantage, and probably we're on the same level as ours, and the start can be crucial. So this weekend, obviously sprint weekend, obviously we got the sprint race to try to then be ready for the main race, but that's going to be the main thing to improve.
Isaac, good to see you. I know it was frustrating not to finish the race last time out in Australia, but how pleased were you with the pace you displayed across the weekend? Lauren was pretty happy, said you absolutely nailed it from that side of things.
Honestly I was happy for first weekend, no big mistakes. Honestly I had no regrets, I had good qualifying, good build up to the weekend, had a very good first 50 meters of the race and then that was it. So I did all my part and we'll try again.
Has it all felt pretty natural for you so far at Red Bull, on and off the track? And what about your chances this weekend, sprint format, all of that going on alongside it?
I feel very good in the team. They're giving me all the chance to succeed, and this weekend's gonna be tough for everyone. So much learning to be made, and only having one practice session before it starts. It's going to be hard.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do you already know what the problem was on Sunday?
No, honestly, I don't even understand it. So it's just a deep PU issue. Yeah.
But is it something that you faced like
Before? No.
Just before? No,
No.
At the start, and then suddenly it was like, what is this?
Yeah. Literally after turn 1, I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
How do you rate this track in this whole energy management? Of course, it's different than Melbourne. It
Okay.
should be better. Huh?
It's apparently it's in the from our calculation it's in the top 4 best track for energy.
Yeah. Okay. So, in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way,
Yeah. Okay. Should be fine.
Yeah, should be better.
Should be better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good, especially in qualifying.
Yeah.
You're close. You're close. Maybe not up there with the Mercedes, but you're close with the Ferraris. They've got the flip over rear wing this weekend, the
Oh, really?
Macarena wing, which should make them super low drag on the straight.
Yeah.
Might that move them ahead of you, do you think?
Yes. I think they're already ahead, to be honest.
Really?
I think they just messed up a bit qualifying, but because they've been ahead the whole weekend, and in Q3, no. So, yeah, it's good. Honestly, I don't anticipate us to be, like, again, I don't see myself being third on the grid, but we never